and I took the boys to town for the fireworks.
Yes. The night that before Allison was born, I had she was born on the 23rd of May, and the 22nd there was a show of fireworks in Calgary, and Dad was taking the kids you boys in to see that, and I said, well, don't be too long. I think I'll be going to the hospital tonight. So he came, took you boys to the fireworks, and then came home, got me, and away I went to the hospital, and Allison was born in the early morning of the 23rd. And the next day, when you boys went to school, Cam, one of his teachers told me this. He said that Cam was the first thing putting up his hand, teacher, teacher, I've got the best news of all. I've got a baby sister and she's a girl. So the word was soon out that we had a baby girl in the house.
How did you feel about that, Dad?
Oh, it was a big day. As Mom has mentioned, we'd been living in the district then for 2 years, so we did know a lot of people, and the word got around quite fast that after 4 boys we had a new daughter, and it was just a real happy day for everyone.
So what was it like with us? I mean, obviously we were old enough to all appreciate a new little baby in the family.
Mm-hmm.
How were all the kids about it all?
I don't remember now, do you?
Well, you boys were just fantastic with her, right from the time she was a baby. And as you said, you were old enough to, really enjoy the fact that you had a little sister. And I can't ever remember any of you ever doing anything to, even to tease her or anything. She may dispute this now. Allison may have some memories that like the time that Cam or Glenn cut her doll's hair now, that she may remember a few things.
I think some other boy tied her up to a tree in the backyard,
No,
too.
I think they tied Paul up.
Paul?
Yeah, the 3 older boys were a little bit mean to Paul because Paul was a very, very easygoing little kid, and he used to just try to follow you bigger kids around. And one time you tied him to a tree and you left him there. I didn't find out about this till quite a few years later. But as far as Allison was concerned, you were very, very protective of her right through to all of you wanted to be the one to get her onto the bus the first day she went to school and all that kind of thing. And of course, by that time, you see, then we had been lucky enough to have Carolyn. And, well, then we thought, well, now, we'd better stop here. This is about it. But it was just as much of a thrill when Carolyn came along because we thought maybe we might just only have 1 daughter. But now then we had 2, and I was especially pleased because I thought, well, now the boys are older and they're going to leave home, and then the girls will be around, and that's what happened.
Well, yeah. So now you had 6 children in tow. So just about doing anything must have seemed like a major event.
It was.
Whether it's getting groceries or going on holidays or
Absolutely.
So, how did you handle it? I guess it's like we talked about earlier. You just.
Is this filming now?
Sure.
Okay. Some of the times, getting ready to go on holidays, I used to think that we were crazy. It was such a job getting everything organized and getting ready to go and getting clothes ready, getting the food ready. I can't even count the nights I've stayed up all night getting ready to go away on holidays. I don't know whether it was crazy or not, but after you'd gotten to your destination and were there for a couple of days, it seemed to all be worth it. But and of course, even the logistics, as you say, of getting 6 children ready, and we had station wagon by then, but even so, it was full to the brim, because we usually went somewhere where we took our food and as much as we could, and as we weren't that flush with money that you could, but you had to go somewhere where you could just prepare your own food. We didn't go too terribly much farther than Windermere for quite a few years, and that was a 3-hour drive, but it doesn't seem much now when you go to Windermere, but it did then. There was fighting in the cars, and the kids, you didn't always get along, and we were cramped sitting, but you know, it's just something that you just do. It's just sort of a one day at a time sort of thing. You couldn't always plan too far ahead. You did what had to be done, and
What about some of the longer trips for holidays? When did you do
okay, what was our very first long trip?
Well, the
that
first,
trip?
you want to go talk about, you were talking about the train trips. 1960 was when the 4 boys, we took
Yeah.
the 4 boys to
Yeah.
Toronto. Yeah.
Yeah, and we I think I took a small trunk of clothes, and in 1960, you see, how old was Paul?
Paul was 2.
2. Yeah, Paul was just 2 years old. So just, Glenn, you can imagine taking Chandra and Jordan and one other, and then Rosanna on a train trip to Toronto. And you all enjoyed it. Was that the time they all got train sick?
Yeah, I think so. It was quite a change. Back in those days, the dining car was really something special, with the white linen and the silver and the crystal.